Hello, we have Cookies56 here with a new Minecraft Forge modding tutorial series. This is going to be in 1.10.2, so the current latest version. And to start off, we're going to be setting up Minecraft Forge. So to start off with, we're going to need a couple of things. First of all, we're going to need Forge, and we're going to download the MDK. I do recommend getting the latest version, but for this tutorial I will be getting the version just before the latest, so then I can update to the latest. Then we'll need the JDK, and we want to get the one for your operating system and make sure to accept the license. Then we will need Git, and then an account for GitHub, and then IntelliJ IDEA. So this is where we're actually going to be writing the code as well as running the game. And yeah, basically it's the same sort of thing as Eclipse, if anyone's familiar with Eclipse, but I prefer it to Eclipse. So once you've got all the required things, we will make a new repository on GitHub by clicking the plus and then go to new repository. Then we want to type our name, so I'm going to call it tutorial mod, and the description is going to be a tutorial mod for modding tutorials. We're going to leave it public because making it private costs money, so you probably want to do public unless you're willing to make it private. Of course, you do not have to put your mod on GitHub. You can ignore this if you don't want open source or whatever, but I do recommend doing it. It's very useful as well, especially if you're working with another person, or if you're working on multiple devices. That's also pretty helpful. So we're gonna initialize this with a readme. I recommend doing this if you're not gonna add a license or a git ignore. We don't want to add a git ignore because Forge comes with its own one that it has everything we need. But the license, I'm going to add the LGPL3. Depending on the kind of license, well, how you want people to be able to use your code will depend on what license you use. So you probably want to read up on some of these to decide. Anyway, I'm going to create the repository, and we'll see we have the files here. So we have the license file, which you can see here. You can even read it now, and the readme, which is what makes this appear. So if we were to edit this, we could change what it says. I'm going to go back to the main page, and what we want to do to actually get the repository on our computer is clone it. So this link we just want to copy, this button here to do that. And then we want to find the place where we want to have our mod. So I've got a folder called development where I put all of it, so I'm going to make it here. And what you want to do is right click, git bash here, and then git clone, and then paste the link. And now that's done, we have the tutorial mod folder, which has the readme, the license, and then a hidden .git folder, which stores all the information about it being a Git repository. So I'm going to close this and then open git bash in this folder, and you can see that we're in the master folder, master branch, which is the only and the main branch of our repository. So you can see that that worked. If that doesn't come up, then something's gone wrong. So now that we have this folder, we can put the Forge files in here. So I have downloaded Forge right here, and what I'm going to do is extract all the files into our tutorial mod folder. And because we're not using Eclipse, I'm going to delete the Eclipse folder. I'm also going to delete the .txt files here, so the credits, the changelog. Changelog is especially not helpful when you update. And then the Forge license, the other credits, or the FML, and then there's Forge credits, and then all the other licenses plus the README for Forge. And we have a lot less files now. So we have the SRC folder, which has an example mod in, which we'll be changing later, but not now. It's kind of helpful to have. Then we have Gradle W and our build.gradle, which are both very important. And we've got this premade.gitignore, which is also quite helpful. So now that we've got this, we want to actually open this in IntelliJ. So what I want to do is open up IntelliJ now. So once IntelliJ has opened, you should see, you might see some configuration options. Just if they ask for a theme, choose your theme and everything, and you can leave the default plugins and everything. But once you get to this screen, you won't see these unless you have used it before, which you probably haven't. And then you want to, well, the first thing you want to do actually is go to project defaults, and then project structure, and then you want to add the JDK. Unless you've got Java Home set, then you don't want to do this, but just add a JDK and then find the location of it. So for me it's in like program files. You can see I have it set here, and once you have that set up, we can click import project, and then what we want to do is go to tutorial mod and go to the build.gradle. So now that we've got this, the first thing we want to do is tick the create directories for empty content routes automatically, and then we can leave all this as it is. Make sure to select the JVM, so if you have Java Home you can use that. I haven't got it set, I probably should get it set, but whatever. And then if you want to change where the Gradle caches go, then you can change that. I have, because I have an SSD and they're quite large, so I put them on my hard drive. So once we've done that, it will build the project. Once it's built, you will see a window like this, where we have our project structure here, and the external libraries are here, which we don't have many here yet because we haven't set up Forge properly. And then we have the now we have a .idea folder, which is the information for the actual project here that we've got open. So what we want to do is open up the Gradle tab here and go to tasks, Forge Gradle. And then what we're going to do, because we're going to be running setup decomp workspace many times, we're going to click create, and we can set the JVM options here. And what we're going to do is set the we're going to allocate 2 gigs of RAM to it, so when we're decompiling Minecraft it doesn't crash because it runs out of memory. So now that we've got this, it comes up here in our run configurations, and we can click run. This will probably take a while, especially the decompiling and recompiling. They're the things that take longest. So you can see that it's running the tasks here. It will probably take a little less time for me since I've set up Forge before, so some things it doesn't have to download, but it will still have to do some things. Now that this is done, we just need to refresh the Gradle project, and this will show up. We can see that it's set up correctly in the external libraries once this has refreshed. Here they are, so we can see the Forge source and then the version that we've installed. So we can go to net Minecraft, and there's all the Minecraft code and the Forge code. So that is obviously helpful if you need to look in the source code. Now, as we may have set up Forge, but we have no way of actually testing. So we can see that the example mod, there's no errors here, it has got the packages fine, but we can't run it. So what we need to do is run gen IntelliJ runs. I'm not going to bother creating a run configuration since we only need to run this once. So it's done, and we just want to reload the project. And we should get, once it reloads, Minecraft client and Minecraft server. Now they have X's because they have errors, so all we need to do is go to application, Minecraft client, and change this to the _main one, and then do the same for the server, and there will no longer be an error, and we can run the game now. So that's pretty much everything for setting it up. You can now start actually making a mod, but what I'm going to do is show you how to update Minecraft Forge. So we want to go to the build.gradle file. So this file is pretty important. I'm going to minimize this because we don't need it right now. And basically here we have a bunch of things that we can change here. So we have the name of our mod and everything, and the version number for when we build our mod. But the important thing here is the version of Forge. So we have the version that we just downloaded. Let's say we want to go on a new version, we just need to change this version number. So you can either find it from files.minecraftforge.net, and you can have the version number constantly be changing, or you can put 1.10.2-latest, and that will always use the latest version when you run the setup decomp workspace. So now that we've changed that, we can run this again and it will update. So I will run this. Now that this is done, we can just refresh the project again, and now we can see that we have 2065 instead of 2064, and it has updated. And just to make sure that we've done everything correctly, I'm going to run Minecraft, and then we will see that everything has worked fine. If there are any errors, it does come up here telling you about them. So as you can see, Minecraft has loaded successfully, and we can see that we have Forge, MCP, and Forge mod loader, as well as the example mod. So if we look in here, the example mod just prints dirt block with the name of dirt. So that is working correctly. So I can just quit Minecraft. And the last thing we want to do, just to get our files now on the GitHub repository, we can type git status to show the unstaged files, well, untracked even, and then we're going to do git add with an asterisk to add all. What it won't add is, if we do git status again, you'll see that the git ignore isn't added, so what we want to do is just type the name of it. If you want to just stage a particular file, you just type the name. So now that we do that, you can see that there are no unstaged changes, so we can commit them now. So we just want to do git commit -m, and then in speech marks the message for the commit. So I'm going to put initial forge setup with example mod, and then git push. So this is going to actually push the changes. Now once that's done, we can go to our GitHub repository. I already have it open, so I'll just refresh, and we can see the files are here. we have another commit which will show all the changes that have been made. Of course, we just got a lot of additions. And we can browse all the files here, so we can see that example mod is here. So in the next tutorial, I'll actually be changing this and making it our own thing. So see you in the next tutorial. If this video helped you, then give it a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe. And if you want to support me, go to patreon.com/wearecookie56.